Hi, my name is Morgan Johnson, and welcome to Softball with Morgan. Today what we're going to do is how to control your barrel. So, let's go. Alright, so how many times have you been up to the plate where you keep dropping your hands or you keep hitting everything into the dirt, right? And you can't figure out how to make the correct contact to make sure that your barrel is hitting the correct point of the ball to make sure that you're hitting the ball up and out. So today I'm going to give you a couple drills to work on your top hand and bottom hand and why those are super important, okay? Alright, so this first drill that we're going to be working on is top hand. So why is top hand important? The reason why this is important is that we're going to separate our top hand from our bottom hand. Now if you're righty, your top hand is going to be your right hand. If you're a lefty, your top hand is going to be your left hand. And so going back to why this is important is that I want you to be able to feel what your hand and what your body is doing during the whole process of a swing when you're just using your top hand. When we put both hands together, they work together. But sometimes we can't feel what one is doing versus the other hand. And so when we separate the two, what we're going to feel and figure out is which one's weaker, and is our hand braking or is our wrist braking to make that our barrel go underneath the ball to pop it up, or is it our strong hand and where we completely hit the ball into the dirt. So this drill, all we're going to do is we're going to go down on one knee, and I'll show you that in a second to make sure that we're controlling our barrel all the way through extension. Alright, so now that I'm down on one knee, what you're going to do to make sure you do this correctly is your back knee down, and then your front leg, you're going to go out. And the reason to keep your front leg straight is to keep our weight back, because we're trying to always hit the back side of the ball and never the top side. So, to do this, you can either have a very small baby bat, but because I just have my regular bat today, all I'm doing is choking up pretty much to where the tape in your grip is located, so then it's not super heavy, right? Because if I just hold this, I can barely control my barrel myself. So I'm just going to move my hand up. Now when we load and we get to contact and then extension, what we got to make sure is keeping your hand inside. So when we get here, right, we're going to look to make sure that our barrel is flat and it's not down, it's not up to go down. Because we have our front leg straight, it's going to make sure that we're keeping all of our weight on the back side. So when we do this, again, we get to contact, make sure that barrel's straight, push it out to extension. So let's go. Okay, so we just practiced top hand. So now that we just practiced top hand, we gotta do bottom hand as well. So same thing, exactly what we just did with top hand, we're gonna do with bottom hand. Make sure your hand is higher on the barrel or on the bat so our barrel doesn't drop on us. So our front leg is straight. When we get to contact, make sure you're behind the ball, right, and we're not leaning forward. Make sure that angle is on the backside and get to extension. One thing that you do want to pay attention with this is if you're taking your front shoulder and going open. You never want to go too open with it. If you go too open, what ends up happening is that your barrel doesn't go through the zone. It only stays on the inside half. Because we're shortening the barrel with our hand moving up top, you've got to make sure that that front shoulder is in. So if you find yourself kind of nicking the ball on the inside, or if you're completely missing the ball, try to watch to see where that front shoulder is and make sure it's an angle to the ball, okay? So let me show you how this should be looking. Alright, so for this last drill, what we're going to do is split grip. I love split grip, and what it is, it's super effective. It's making sure that you have some control with your barrel and making sure that you're at least getting through contact and extension with a lot of power. So the reason why split grip is very effective is that when you're able to split your hands, you're able to feel your top hand and your bottom hand a little bit more separately than when they're working together. Now ideally you want both your top hand and bottom hand to be working together to that push and pull effect to get that barrel whipping through the zone. But if we are struggling with, dropping our hands or hitting on the top, if we split our hands, now we're splitting the idea of like pushing with our top hand and pulling with our bottom hand. So when we load, I know it's going to feel a little weird at first, but when we load and then we get to contact, I want you to pull your bottom hand, pull it this way, right? We keep that angle with our elbow, and then we're going to punch our top hand exactly right to the ball. So when we get to contact, we do that punch and pull option right here, is that you're going to feel that when you're punching, that you're taking this barrel exactly to the point of contact on the ball that you want. So let me show you to contact, and I'll show you to extension and exactly how to look like. So this is contact. Okay, so I hope those drills were able to get you to control your barrel a little bit more today. Now, if you have any questions or any comments, leave them below, and I'll see you next time.